Hi fellas, you may be wondering why I'm standing here in our driveway. Well, today we're going to make a quick tour through my 3d-printz workshop. Let's get in. So as I already mentioned, we're standing here right inside of our driveway, and behind me you can see the Machfeld, which is a very important agricultural area here in Austria.
To my left you see the Braunsberg, a very famous spot for slope gliding. There are F3F competitions every year. Last but not least, this tiny hill over there is called Schlossberg, with its medieval ruins.
Now let's head over to the star of this show, the 3d-printz garage.
This is where a lot of the magic happens. We built this wooden garage about 7 years ago, short after the construction of our house. It was a DIY build kit and quite a lot of work for me and my wife to build, as it was a first timer for both of us building a structure this size. But it went out quite well. It's not perfect, of course, but it's ours and we love it. Let's go inside and have a look. The building has a size of approximately 6 by 5 meters and is a wood construction. I did the electric installments by myself, which also was a first timer for me, but I'm actually pretty fine with it so far. There are a lot of way more professional workshop setups out there, but this is my perfect compromise between what I can afford and what I need. To our left there's our private area where we store our personal stuff, and I try to cover it a bit with these old curtains, so you don't always see little John's toys in the future videos. To keep the garage feeling, there are these 2 garden chairs to relax after hours of building. The old espresso machine still serves well. On the right there's the regular workbench for the rougher works. I built the base with some old 5 by 8 cm planks and 2 12mm OSB sheets. Reinforced them in the middle and it holds up pretty well. The whole bench is fixed to the wall of the garage. Here is also quite a lot of regular workshop stuff like screws, nails, hinges, angular joiners, some bike stuff, first aid kit, etc. etc. Next to it we have this tiny place where we store all of our gardening tools. We try to keep things as clean as possible, but although this is of course the dirtiest spot in our garage. Maybe someday I'll build a small shed in the garden to store those. Speaking of garden, I'll now show you my personal highlight of the 3d-printz garage, which is this view into our garden. We are gardening here since about 9 years, and although it may not look like much at the moment, as soon as those trees, bushes and flowers begin to bloom, this becomes an absolute green paradise for relaxing after long days on the PC. We love our garden and watched every single plant grow from zero. Now let's hop back in. In the garage I have this second workbench, which is the one I built my planes on. It is not as massive as the first one, but it doesn't need to be. I integrated a kitchen sink as I really wanted to have some water here to wash my hands, take a sip and so on. The storage system here is IKEA's Cardis, which is super transformable and I really love it. There are a ton of free 3D printable add-ons on Thingiverse, and this way it fits my needs perfectly. There's room for tools as well as stuff like servos, plugs, rudder horns, cables, etc. Also the shop PC is situated on a SCADIS wall, so it doesn't take much space. I simply created this 3D printed case for the mini PC, which serves me not only access to the internet and some good work music, but also is connected to the CNC foam cutter, which will hopefully play soon a bigger role in my designs. You may have noticed that there's not a single 3D printer here in the 3d-printz garage. That's due to the fact that they are situated depending on time of the year. In winter they are inside their temperature enclosure in my office to help heating the house and therefore save some energy. But in summer I bring them into the garage so that the house doesn't get heated up. As toxic fumes are not a human's best friend, I decided to install an exhaust system to suck out soldering, printing and foam cutting fumes, just where they appear. I took an old cooker hood and modified it to fit my needs, which works more than well. It's actually so strong you can use it as a vacuum. But I try to avoid that, as the exhaust leads directly into the garden of my neighbor. Better be friendly, Frank. So this was our quick tour through the garage. Hope you enjoyed! maybe some of you can take some ideas from it. But maybe some of you are more like, what the f did I just watch? However, this is where most of our upcoming videos and tutorials will take place. So until then, guten Flug!